the week, we have taken a closer look at contracts between local police departments and the school districts to which they provide school resource officers.
Yeah, so far we've looked at a lot. Mason and Middletown, who provide SROs at a cost of hundreds of thousands of dollars to the school district. And now Ken Brown's taking a look at Fort Thomas because this one comes at no cost to the school district.
Fort Thomas is just one of 6 school districts who gets their SRO for free from either the city, township, or a local sheriff's office, which allows the district's budget to remain focused on education-based line items. But it did require some adjustment from the city to make this program possible.
You've probably heard the saying, nothing is free. Fort Thomas Independent School District has an exception to that rule in Officer Zach Rolfer. It's been 5 years since Fort Thomas Police placed an SRO inside the halls of the school at no cost to the district.
How long have you been doing that?
2018, they discussed a lot of that, and it was determined just to go ahead and let's get it moving, and we went ahead and funded it.
That's true. Yeah.
Fort Thomas is a special place, and it really is a place where the citizens work together to make sure that we get the most efficient use of taxpayer dollars, that we work together to make sure that our kids can expect the best.
The city says this service makes sense. The school buildings are filled with hundreds of students and staff who live in this community.
Part of it is, yes, we're helping the schools, but the school is the city, right? I mean, all the students that are there are citizens.
Look at that.
It's not like we're helping out and inappropriately using tax funds. It's appropriate because that's, you know, the whole population are residents, so it makes sense for us to be helping out in that way as well.
Matt Kramer is the city manager in Fort Thomas, a former police officer and the man best suited to know the ups and downs of this relationship from a city and police perspective. While protecting the schools is a top priority, Fort Thomas is pulling an officer off the streets and areas that could otherwise need attention. Kramer tells us the constant resource within the schools allows the other patrol officers to remain focused on the rest of the community.
That person handles all school events, so, you know, typically before we had a person come off the street anyway to handle it. So in reality, you know, service-wise, it was kind of a wash because they handle all the school investigations, all of the calls that would normally get pulled an officer off the street. So they were able to just readjust their patrol plan, so it didn't cost us any more money, but services are about the same.
Without the concern of a cost for a school resource officer, Fort Thomas Independent Schools says they've been able to add additional measures to keep children safe.
That's awesome.
There are many elements that go into making sure that our students are safe. We've made significant investments in expanding the number of counselors that we have at each of our schools, of making sure that our facilities improved in terms of the safety within safety vestibules, doors, installation of cameras, training of our staff.
Fort Thomas is a smaller district with less school resource officer needs, but larger jurisdictions have made this model work as well. The City of Cincinnati Police Department provides SROs at no cost to Cincinnati Public Schools. While Fort Thomas Independent Schools may not pay into the program, the police department is still getting something valuable out of this deal.
When we do have cases involving students or students' families, that SRO is very familiar with the students. They get to know the students. It really helps with investigations. You know, when we have missing children, when we have runaways, even domestics, that SRO is contacted a lot, so we can kind of understand the family dynamics and really help the family and help the student a lot better. So there's a lot of benefits to having our own officer in the schools when it comes to things like that.
How's it going?
All week long, we've been covering the cost of school resource officers within different districts. If you're curious about what your district is paying, we've the complete list of districts in our area that had records responsive to our request on our website, fox19now.com. In studio, Ken Brown, Fox 19 Now.